talk about all things sumo.
That's right, and we're going to get to the Aki Basho 2025 September Basho days 1 through 3. But first, we received all of your emails and all of your messages saying how much you loved the Aonishiki interview. And we agree. We loved it too. We have so much footage of us trying not to fangirl over the guy, like especially when he was first sitting down for our interview. Like we just couldn't believe it was really happening and that the sound was working and he was sitting in front of our camera and we were about to interview him.
Yeah.
And there's so much footage of us that's just like, but we're really trying to be professional about it.
Yeah, I messed up my Japanese. No big surprise there. He was so sweet. And there was literally a typhoon happening. And Angie and Sayaka were helping us. And they had to get into a taxi immediately after and get home before this big typhoon hit. We couldn't believe it happened. He spent almost an hour with us. So you only saw, I guess, about 20 minutes of the interview. But he was so sweet and so charming, and we wish we could have kept every little bit of it in there, but we were so thrilled. And the whole reason it happened is because of you and your support. So
yeah, that's what the raffle was for.
Yeah.
Is so that we could make that happen.
Yeah.
Because it took a lot of effort on the back end.
And a lot of approval and the JSA and everybody else had to give their go ahead. And I don't know if anybody else has been able to interview these Makuuchi wrestlers like we did, this like silly little English language podcast, but somehow we did it. And I think it's because you all support us. So thank you for supporting us. Thank you for sharing with the world. Thank you for watching. And if you're a new listener to Sumo Kaboom, welcome and thank you.
We hope to do more of those in the future. We have a couple of just really wonderful friends in Japan who helped make this happen. Could not have done it without them.
No.
So thank you, Angie. Thank you, Sayaka. Thank you, Aonishiki.
Thank you,
Ajigawa Oyakata, and Okami-san. Yes. Yeah, there's so many thank yous. But yeah, we hope to do more of those in the future for you.
Yes. You want to do a news flash? Okay. Before we get to the news flash, you want to talk about bingo though?
Sure. If you want to play bingo with us, bingo cards are available. If you don't know what bingo is about, we play it during every basho. The rules, how to play, it's all on our website. Go to sumokaboompodcast.com/bingo or just look for the bingo tab. All of the directions are there. It's a bingo game.
Yeah, it's bingo.
Yeah, and you're playing for the chance to win some sumo merchandise from Big Sumo Fan and or Cheeky Sumo and or Leslie's famous handmade jam.
Yes, I don't know what the jam will be, but I will have homemade jam, and of course, you will get to brag until the next tournament. So so make sure and get those cards and let us know.
Doesn't matter where you live.
Yeah,
we'll ship to you all over the world.
Yeah, and it's absolutely free to play. And if you happen to lose, not get a bingo, still decorate that card because that could get you the most creatively filled in bingo card award. And we are the only tournament out there that honors creativity like this.
Yeah, and we do it in honor of our dad.
Yes. So get in on that. Okay. So news. Want to hear that?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna start off with something sad, but then I'm gonna immediately go to something else. I know that Marie mentioned it on day 3, but one of our wrestlers in the top division, Mitaki Yumi, lost his mother on, I think, September 12th. He needs, I would imagine, just some good vibes. These guys do incredible things even when their hearts are broken. So send some good love to Mitaki Yumi because that was indeed sad. His mother was only 55 and very young, and it was sudden. So send some love his way.
And if you've been watching sumo for a while, you have seen Mitaki Yumi's mom in the audience at the bashos because she was such a cheerleader for her son. She cheered so loud and the cameras always went to her. Yeah. So we all kind of feel like we lost our own mom.
Our sumo mom. Okay, now I'm going to switch gears and tell you an absolutely delightful story that came through the news this week. You know, Kaio, our little butterball, our little duckling and his bright yellow mawashi. Okay, so he belongs to Nakamura, Bea. And apparently this is 4 days before the tournament. Now they don't have curfews at Nakamura stable. So he stayed out all night and he it was, I think in the morning at Nakamoto's stable, there was an interview from NHK happening at 7 a.m. And so they got there a little early. And when they got there, there was a ring at the front door. And apparently it was a taxi driver. And the taxi driver was like, please come and get this wrestler. And it turns out that Kaio was drunk as a skunk.
Oh no.
Asleep in the back of the taxi. And because they don't have it, I mean, Nakamura Oyakata said it doesn't matter what time they get in as long as they're there at 7 a.m. So Kaio is dead to the world of sleep out there. They pull him in at 6:45 in the morning. They all have their smoothie at 7 o'clock, and then they start the morning practice. And
He
sure,
was awake?
he made it. He went straight to practice. He was, I think it was reported that he was like more vocal at some parts of the
Like, oh, that kind of vocal?
I don't know, or
God,
just
I
more
feel
vocal.
terrible.
He may have still been drunk, but he was, he made it through practice, and then they all had a good laugh about it. But apparently, yeah, he was like, yep, I was completely drunk. The drinking party went way too late into the night. And so, but I'm still here. And he said his practice, I think, was pretty good. So
I feel sorry for his sumo partners. Not so much him. Like, he made his own choices. You know, you make that bed, you got to sleep in it. But his poor partners, who were probably like, God,
You
this guy
stink.
just smells like a bar. Here we go.
Anyway, so there's that. Okay. So on October 4th, Taka Keisho has his haircutting ceremony. So if you happen to be in Japan, we have some really cool intel for you. It was relayed to us, and we can forward into our social media a post made by our friend Angie, who we talk a lot about. We have a connection into some tickets now for Taka Keisho's haircutting ceremony.
Just a few, not a bunch.
They're box seats. They're incredible
Only
seats
until they're gone.
Right, until they're gone. And if you were following that, Taka Keisho's tickets sold out immediately. These are special tickets, I guess, that they are just releasing now. So if you happen to be there, these are box seats for, I think, 4, 5, or 6 people. And then they even have some right there by the Hanamichi.
What's the date again?
October 4th. And
where?
Japan.
At the Kokugikan.
At the Kokugikan.
So Tokyo.
Tokyo, yeah. So you can reach out to us on social media. We can connect you up if that's something you're into. Spread the word, because if you're a Taka Keisho fan and you want to be there, just get that ticket and make it happen, because you could have some really awesome seats.
Yeah, and you wouldn't just see Taka Keisho. You would see all the people that come to cut his hair.
Yeah.
Which is everybody.
And I mean, I just want to see what Taka Keisho looks like in his mawashi now that he's like, I don't know, maybe
Half
180. Like, I just don't even recognize him. So it's going to be quite an event. So if you happen to be there, get those tickets.
Yeah, if I was in Tokyo early October, I would go.
What a great time to be there. It's like crazy hot right now, but like if you happen to be there, get there. It's a great time to be there. I guess that's it.
Okay, let's roll into day 1 of the September Basho.
Yay!
First of all, my biggest takeaway from take 1 was, oh my Lord, there's so many injuries.
Take one.
Take 1. Day 1, take 1. Take 1 of 15 takes that they all get on their sumo. They look so injured right now. Everybody looks so taped up. Like, first of all, we know Takeru Fuji is out because last Basho we watched his little bicep just kind of like pop. Well, so he got surgery on that.
He's out a full month. Any other normal person would be like, you're out like 6 months, but he'll be.
Who knows? He'll probably show up on day 4. Who knows? Who knows? But he just got surgery on that bicep. But not only him, Hitoshi, we already know he's got a history of a neck injury, but he showed up, his knee is all taped up.
Yeah.
He's got some sort of knee problem. His cellulitis is
terrible.
Back with a vengeance.
I know, I was like,
his legs look so red and inflamed. Sumo's not great. Obizaru, like his entire right side of his body is taped up. Elbow, knee, everything.
He's like a walking mummy at this point.
Like still doing pretty good sumo, but so taped up. Daisho's leg is taped up. Koto Shoho is all bandaged up and has all sorts of strange bruises all over his body. So I don't know if they're just if they just work themselves silly at the last joint training, or if it's the tour that
Leftover
made
from the
this.
tour, maybe.
I don't know, but I thought, man, they look like they could use a couple weeks off,
Yeah.
these guys.
I was looking at Hoshoryu's back, and on day 2, he already had cupping marks.
Yeah. So
that's fine.
they're amazing athletes. And the fact that they are still doing sumo through all these injuries is just yet another one of those things that I find so surprising about sumo. And it just really hit me on day one. Now, I'm just going to mention this because I just noticed it on day one, or take one of the sumo.
Take one.
We got to see so many different ways that sumo can be won in so many, like, all these classic ways. It was really cool. Like, we got to watch Tobi Zaru just spin and spin and spin and spin and spin like a top, practically, in his sumo match, until I think he just lucked into getting a double inside grip on Shonan no Umi, and he must have been so dizzy from all that spinning. Both of them just kind of like worked their way out. But I've never seen one Rikishi spin so much in one match in my life. And I thought, good God, it's like he's on like one of those playground toys. It's just like spinning like a top here.
The merry-go-round?
No, the other one. Anyway, the one that you like, I remember just spinning on it a whole bunch as a kid. It's got those bars you can hold on to. You just spin, you run as fast as you can, and then you just jump on it and your legs fly. I don't know what it's called. It's not a merry-go-round, but it's that thing. Anyway, doesn't matter. So we got to see a spinning sumo win. Oshoma met Ura on day one, and he was so good at trying to keep Ura at a distance. Almost nobody fights Ura because he's so dangerous if he gets in close. So many of them try to just keep that guy far away from them. And Oshoma tried, but Ura just waited for the perfect moment, and he jumped in and he lifted Oshoma's leg and then pushed him out. So that was another classic example of, okay, well, you could spin some guy out, you can lift up his thigh and then push him out. We got to see Kirishima use his speed, which allowed him to just snap in quickly and turn Oho to the side very, very awkwardly, and then sort of like waterlog the guy out. And I love watching, I love watching people beat Oho. I don't know why, but I do. And I really love it when it's Kirishima and he's using speed. What do you have to say about that one?
I love Kirishima more, but I have been loving Oho for a while now. I know that's surprising to many people, but I do love Oho.
I'm going to live right here with my Haku Oho love.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite matches of the entire day was Haku Oho completely cannonballing Wakataka Kage.
Yeah.
On day one, he just put his head down and barreled into Wakataka Kage, and Wakataka Kage was not ready for that, and he only went one direction, and it was backwards and out. And it wasn't the best start for Wakataka Kage. Mm-hmm. I know maybe there's an injury there that he's dealing with too. We just don't see the tape. I love both of their styles, but it was really fun to see Haku Oho just completely own Wakataka Kage.
Yeah, and that's surprising hearing from you say that, but your description of him as a cannonball, as a human cannonball, is completely accurate.
Yeah.
That's really what it was. He beat him to the tachiai, which I thought that was incredible because Wakataka Kage is usually so incredibly quick with the tachiai. He won it. I think Wakataka Kage was surprised because it's day one and he's trying to become an ozeki, and he's got a lot of, he's got a lot of pride wrapped up in that. So I think he was just like, oh, wow, I got owned.
Yep.
That does not make him happy.
So we got to see all those various styles of winning sumo, but I also want to mention just our top rankers because Koto Sakura on day one looked really good.
Yes.
And it's been a while since we've seen him look that strong. He had huge pushes against Abi, completely owned Abi on day one. And I was like, that is the man I want to see. Mm-hmm. That is the Koto Sakura that we all know. That is him. So bring it. So I was excited to see that on day one. Mm-hmm. And we got to see both of our yokozuna win. I was a little worried about Hoshoryu. He slipped twice in his match against Tamawashi. He had me a little worried, but he did. He got that. He grabbed the thigh of Tamawashi and won. And Onosato just completely pushed Nishiki out.
As it should be.
Well,
As it should be, but I still think Ionishiki, he did well. And despite getting pummeled by Onosato, that is exactly what a yokozuna is supposed to do.
well, there's a big size difference.
Huge.
Between the two of them.
Huge.
And I don't even think it's worth breaking down.
No.
But just to say, it was really fun to watch, to see both yokozuna on day one. I'm really hoping that we get to see both yokozuna throughout the 15 days of this tournament. And also very excited to see how Aonishiki is going up against these top rankers because his style is so different. So even though Aonishiki did not win on day one, I was really excited to see the match. And I thought he did well. He's just outsized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say about day one. I've really enjoyed day one. I'm really happy that the sumo is back, and I'm sure you are too. I'd forgotten. I saw on the ranking that Daisho is Maegashira 10. And I thought, wait a minute. Wait, when did that happen? I can't even remember.
It's because he had to bail on the last tournament. And then it's a little controversial that they bumped him down just that far.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like,
strange.
That seems really low. It seems like it was just in Sanyaku. But it's because he was out for, okay, that's helping me remember. It's hard to keep it all straight.
Either that or he stole somebody's girlfriend. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but
maybe
anything's possible. But it was a huge demotion. And that's very strange.
Oh, because we didn't talk about the rest of the Bansuke because we went right to the Aonishiki interview. Yeah. So that's why I didn't really notice it.
We could do the Banzuke now, but I kind of feel like it's a little bit too late.
Yeah. No. It's all good.
Day two had, I always appreciate when there's something just a little out of the ordinary. So we had Meisei versus Roga, and the call was called initially for Meisei, but they went back through and watched the slow-mo. I mean, of course, there was a mono-e called, and it was, I think, reversed. So that would be that the Gyoji must commit seppuku, a disembowelment.
He probably did it later in the day.
Yeah, he didn't immediately leave, but that's why they had that little scabbard. Is that the right word? The little knife, the little knifey poo.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would call it a
knifey poo. Is real dumb.
Scabbard.
Forget that I said that.
It's very Game of Thrones to call it a scabbard.
But it's their little knife.
It's a ceremonial blade,
right? To commit seppuku should they call a match incorrectly, and
hopefully someone stopped him.
That's hope. Let's hope, because it was a very pretty.
George, don't do it. It was just a wrong call. It was so close. We had to watch the replay, buddy.
I like that you think his name is George. Yeah, but it could be anything. Who knows? Ura versus Midori Fuji. Was this one of your matches?
I did enjoy it.
I like it because they're both very small, and not very small, but
they're like our size.
Yeah.
Very small. What's the game where you like go underneath the stick?
It's
what's that called?
A conga line?
No.
Yeah.
What is the name of that?
You go under the pole.
What is the name of that game?
Let's
play. Whatever that is.
Go under the pole.
Right. Let's go under the pole. It's like the sumo version of that, but you're facing forward.
What's even
really
sadder
is
that
neither one of us
can't remember like a childhood game.
We have not been to the beach lately. That's what it shows.
Yeah,
what is the name of that? It's gonna hit me in like 10 minutes, and I'm
gonna
go. Blah!
Anyway, we both can't recall that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ura gets a solid grip up top. He gets the left inside. Ura versus Midori Fuji.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Got off on a tangent.
Ura is actually lower, I think, with Midori Fuji, which is like, I don't even know how you do that.
It's like calf level.
Yeah, but like he has the ability to do that.
Because he still has young knees.
Right. But Midori Fuji is like, what? Holy hell, what's happening? He's
Holy
lower.
Hell.
He's lower than I am. And so they kind of like, they both have some sort of grip. They stall out. And we just wait for something to happen because they kind of both wear each other out. So what I loved about it is this is that match when Ura, remember when he like dipped so insanely low that you're like, I think he snapped his legs in half. His butt almost hit the dirt. So with the smallest guy, Ura gets in there, he dips down so low to the ground, and then Midori Fuji is sent up with that momentum from that super deep dip down, and then Ura just lifts up and moves Midori Fuji to the edge and out with a fun, really fun frontal crush out. But I just marked it because I'm just amazed that Ura's knees still function. I know they're wrapped up like a mummy, and I'm pretty sure they're bionic under there, but I don't know why he can still do that on knees that are toast.
It shows how strong he is. Just straightforward pushes.
Yeah.
He's a strong boy.
He is. My favorite match of the day is the Ionishiki versus Atami Fuji match.
Okay, good.
I love this match. It was, in two parts. Because the first one was a long, brutal slug out of a match, both offensive and defensive for both guys. Ionishiki was low as you would expect, and very grounded somehow. And while Atami Fuji was up above and really moving very well and quite quickly. And sometimes I find Atami Fuji just sometimes be a little bit like, oops, I made a mistake, and then he's off his game. But he seemed like he was so focused and really reacted quickly in the moment to stay with him. And Ionishiki is fast and low.
He's a big boy. It's hard to move that much meat and muscle around.
It is. But Atami Fuji, he stood there like a wall. And I felt like Ionishiki was like, oh God, this guy is impossible to move. And
he did so good staying on his feet.
He really did. And Atami Fuji tried to lift up, kind of get a vice grip on Ionishiki, one of Ionishiki's arms, but then Ionishiki wiggled free. He was just all over the place. And so they both kind of had a standstill of a moment. But then amongst that, Ionishiki lost his sagari, his the apron, the ceremonial, things that hang down. Ionishiki goes for a beautiful sort of pull down by I don't know how to describe it other than getting under the armpits of the other person and then kind of, like you say, going ass over tits, but dragging someone down into the dirt by dragging them forward, and you fall with them head to head kind of thing.
It's the
downward dog.
It's what he didn't want to explain to us in the interview.
Perhaps.
We were like, how do you do that? What are you doing there? And he was like, I'm sorry, it's a secret. It's my secret sauce.
And just in case,
if I tell you, then people will know what I'm doing.
Right. But now we know. He goes ass over tits, and he was basically in a downward dog, bringing somebody else down in a downward dog. What happened was their elbows, their forearms actually hit the dirt simultaneously. So there was like a mono-e. And because that first match was just fun, a slug out, it was a whole match. The crowd goes nuts because sure enough, they cannot tell who the winner is. And we get a Tori Naoshi, which is a redo. Let's do it over again.
It was a scary, did you see the close up of them going down?
I saw
on their shoulders and heads.
I saw the unfortunate close up from behind of Ionishiki, but he looked good. But I was like, no one should have to have that on national television.
I know.
That close of a butt shot, but he has a nice rear end. So
he does. But I think if we see anybody's rear end, that's a good one to see.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yes, we'll be taking you out to dinner.
No, we won't go because we're all pervy and creepy. We won't be doing that. We will not be lecherous at all.
No.
But part two of the match, there were so many elements of the first match in the second match is kind of what was interesting to me. So Atami Fuji sends Ionishiki back a little. Ionishiki gets low and closes in. Okay, so in this second part though, I've given Ionishiki a new nickname, and it is the Bull, because no one is better than him putting his head in somebody's, the square part of their chest, and then just driving forward with their head. He moves people all around by being so close and inside. And that's really what did Atami Fuji in with this second match, because Ionishiki kept that same close head position that he had in the first bout, and then used all that momentum back and forth up against Atami Fuji. And he drove Atami Fuji essentially back out to the edge and out, and he had a left outside grip, but Atami Fuji also kind of made a mistake in the retreat. And I think, did he do a pull? I can't remember. But I think he was trying to do a throw or something as he was retreating backwards, but that never works for you, or it rarely works in your favor. And Ionishiki just kind of barreled him back and sent him out of the ring. But both matches were long,
Exciting.
exciting. Both of those guys are sleeping like babies tonight because they got a workout. Both times, both were electric, both were sparks flying, both had a lot of good focus, quick thinking. It's just Ionishiki came out on the top with that head in the chest, grounded thing he does, and Atami Fuji up too high and just found himself making a mistake in a clutch moment.
Didn't Hokuto Fuji used to have that nickname, the bull?
Bull.
So because he retired, you're going to give it to Aonishiki.
I guess. I always give it to Hokuto Fuji because his tachiai was all head. I saw
Hakuoho does that.
Hakuoho does that. He would also be in the running for the bull title. But I saw a picture of all the retired guys that are now doing
Security work or something?
security and fire safety team, and Hokuto Fuji was out there with the fire hose. Just
Yay! Living his best life as
living
a
his best
fireman.
life. I miss him though. I do miss him.
I do too.
Tamawashi versus Onosato. Okay, so Tamawashi beat Onosato last time, and Onosato did a really amazing job. He was poised. He was able to withstand Tamawashi's murder nodowa. And I don't know what to call it other than a murder nodowa. He had his neck so firmly on Onosato. And I think that's what's done him in before. Everyone should kind of know that's coming from Tamawashi. But he had a strong nodowa grip on Onosato's neck. He moved him back. Onosato was kind of reeling backwards towards the edge. And I was like, oh no. But he did a huge arm swat to dislodge that nodowa and then stepped to the side, and Tamawashi fell right out of the ring. So
I wouldn't call it a fall. I would call it like a Superman thrust, Spider-Man thrust aside.
perhaps,
It was so good.
Yeah, it was fun. I always like to see him flying as long as they don't get hurt.
Yeah, I know. You skipped over my favorite.
Wakataka Kage versus Oho.
Mm-hmm. And you know why.
Well, Wakataka Kage is going for ozeki here. He needs the wins, okay? And this was nice because Wakataka Kage immediately got quickly inside on Oho and rushed him back and out, and there was no one home on Oho's side.
And I got to watch Oho lose.
Yeah, and I think Wakataka Kage learned just what a quick tachiai can do from the day before. He was like, perhaps I should remember in all of my experience that the tachiai and the speed there wins. And he did win. It was a yorikiri win for Wakataka Kage. So I was a little relieved. Takayasu versus Hoshoryu, though. I will mention this because Takayasu has, I think, a stronger record up against Hoshoryu. Hoshoryu struggles with that big belly that Takayasu has. Takayasu is incredibly strong. Also, Takayasu has crazy long arms. So I think that benefits him up against a slightly shorter, stockier Hoshoryu. But Takayasu kept up with Hoshoryu's rhythm from the very beginning. Up top, Takayasu got inside with his preferred grip. Hoshoryu was just so fast, though. When Takayasu got that grip, he got a good makikai, a good grip switch, and then he got inside on Takayasu, and Takayasu then leaned in that moment on Hoshoryu, but Hoshoryu then just like backed up from that moment, attempted a throw, and I think Takayasu also tried to throw an Uwatanage in there to counter that throw. So nothing was successful on either end. And then Takayasu was really sitting there with a very strong left outside position grip on Hoshoryu. But Hoshoryu improved his like half-ass grip, gets a double inside grip on Takayasu and drives Takayasu to the Tawada edge and out.
I think we should rename half-ass grip hags.
Hags.
He got a hag.
Half-ass grip, but then he managed to improve it and forced out Takayasu with a yorikiri win. And that was day 2.
Okay, day 3. Lots to love on day 3. But I am just going to talk to you about my favorites. These are the ones that made me sit up tall and go, God, I love sumo. There's always something. Always. And
who knew?
What did it for me was Wakataka Kage versus Tamawashi.
Yeah.
I thought that Wakataka Kage was just going to send Tamawashi home. I really did. But somehow Tamawashi got Wakataka Kage off balance from the very beginning. It's like Wakataka Kage jumped in and somehow was deflected off to the side. Tamawashi gave him one big, huge throat thrust and a push on the chest, this area right here.
Yeah.
And man, Wakataka Kage went flying. That was his second loss. And I don't like to see him lose. He doesn't like to see himself lose.
No.
He gets so mad when he loses.
So mad.
But I like watching it. Not the loss, but his reaction to it. Like he's pulling all the darkness inside so that the next day it can just come flashing out. We all want Wakataka Kage to become Ozeki, but now he can only do two. He can only lose two more. We were hoping that he'd start stronger than this.
Yeah, I think it's something too that the other guys that are veterans are like, it's not so easy, bud. I feel like they get super jazzed up to stand in his way or to stand in other people's way. Like,
I don't know that they target them. But
it seems like they're like, if you want that, you got to get through my best game.
Maybe.
And I don't think that they're like, I'm targeting him, but I'm like, they're like, I got to show up because if you earn that, you got to show everybody that you deserve it.
Maybe, but I also just think 33 wins over 3 bashos is hard as hell.
Yeah, it is.
For anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. And fighting at the very top of the Banzuke. So you're fighting the people who are most on their game, the biggest guys, and to get 33 wins in a row is just almost impossible. Mm-hmm. I think that bar is just so ridiculously high. So I want him to get it. We'll see. We'll see. And another favorite fight of mine on day 3, of course, Koto Sakura versus Aonishiki. Koto Sakura looking in form, and Aonishiki also looking very much in form. Koto Sakura, man, went for some big pushes, and there's a huge size difference between these two. Yes. Of course, Koto Sakura is much larger, but Aonishiki, oh my God, he just like drove forward and kept Koto Sakura on his heels. It was so cool to see Aonishiki win against an in-form Ozeki. I was so proud of him. And he got the interview at the end. I don't think it even needs, like the sumo doesn't need to be described at this point. Just was so fabulous. He was faster and he was good on his feet, and every single push was perfect.
Yeah. You want somebody in this position as komusubi, which is a really tough position. You want them to get some wins up against some big people, and not just get up there and get creamed. So he looked great, but also I don't care if Koto Sakura lost. I sense that he seems to be feeling better, and that makes me happy. Even if he lost, it makes me happier that he seems to be in fighting form.
Well, huge confidence builder for Aonishiki. Just really, really cool to watch on day 3. The other fight that I really loved, because I try to give you 3 from each day that I love, Hakuoho versus Hoshoryu. Mainly because, man, the pregame faces on these guys were so over the top. They were giving such good game face to the cameras and to the crowd.
Hakuoho surprised me. He was like,
"Oh, his is great."
I mean,
I've always loved his.
Yeah, I've seen Hoshoryu's, but I feel like Hakuoho's was just like, I got a little extra salt on this one.
Well, he's like, you could tell he was pumping himself up for a yokozuna. You know, I would have to look at his record and see how many times he's met a yokozuna, because I believe he's fighting from his highest position this time. I believe so. It might be a first. I need to check on that. Don't quote me on that, y'all. I should have checked the database before I said that. But he was psyching himself up for it. And so was Hoshoryu, because Hoshoryu looks like he is determined to take this basho. So he's showing up 110% each and every time. So after all of that build up, when they finally met, of course, Hakuoho rocketed forward with so much momentum, and Hoshoryu probably knew that was coming, and he stepped to the side, did not take it on full force. He stepped to the side, grabbed the back of Hakuoho's belt, and spun, and it took a second because Hakuoho was off balance, trying to regain his balance, but man, Hoshoryu just kept spinning until he knew that he could throw just the right uwatanage, and Hakuoho went down to the dirt splat.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, in like superhero movies when they send the villain flying and like they hit the ground and dust flies up in the air. It was that kind of belly flop on the ground. I liked it. It was good. I love both of these guys. It was just really fun to watch.
It was interesting afterwards. I think the commentator said something about it. He could tell though that like Hoshoryu doing a henka, it's not behavior of a yokozuna. So even though he used it, and I'm sure yokozunas have used it in the past, but they're expected to meet sumo head on, you know. And so I think the crowd or other people who are more traditional in the sport go, well, he didn't do yokozuna style sumo. But I think like Hakuho used to say, a win is a win and you got to get it as a yokozuna. So with maybe that back cupping, he was like, this kid's coming at me like a cannonball. Let's just get the win.
I thought it was smart. It wasn't a full henka. I thought it was really smart. Like I know this kid's sumo. I know what he's coming at me with, and I'm going to be smarter. Yeah, and you got to be ready for that. If you're Hakuoho, if you know that's your style of sumo, you got to be ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no right or wrong. I loved it. I loved it both ways. Of course, Onosato won this time against Abi. Just threw him to the side with such a definitive shove.
It was fun.
Put him on his ass. Put Abi on his ass. So the sumo is great. It's exciting. Do you have anything else you want to say about any of these storylines?
Oh, we've just got 2 yokozunas who are undefeated as of this day 3. I mean, everything can change. But I like to see them out of the gate with wins. That makes me happy.
Yeah, me too. Okay, I guess that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.